All right, Torch Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is. All right, so today I'm going to be reviewing Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers. Before I get into that, rest in peace to Slug. You will be missed. Love you, bro. All right. So, Mr. Morale and the big steppers. Excuse me if I have to make sure my levels is right because I don't want it to be too loud. And I think the headphones is loud, so turn this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. This is Kendrick Lamar's 5th studio album, I believe. We have Section 80, or if you want to count the one before that, but let's just say Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, Mr. Moral, Mr. Moral, and the Big Steppers. All right, so going into this project, I felt like it was a long-awaited, anticipated album, and I felt like it was going to be something special. I was kind of a little bit wrong when it came to, I thought it was going to be a little more, how would I say, a little more hip-hop-ish. I thought that he would go in the direction of it being a little more hip-hop-ish. But I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to break down every song, go through every song. I'm going to break down every song. And yeah, Kendrick Lamar. All right, so the first song he opens up with is United in Grief. So it opens up with an Eminem type of feel to this record. Kind of like Bitch I'ma Kill You, with the one piano string, the one piano dun, and he just murders it. He kills it. But then he goes into this sort of African Bambaataa Afro type of beat, where the beat is like a constant percussion, a constant drum bass. It reminds me of the Rakim Know the Ledge. His flow was kind of like that. And for me, this song is a definitely hands down a 10. Out the gate, you come in with the song. Now, he's talking about a lot on this song, about him grieving different from everybody else. And he basically is kind of saying, like, even though he's rich, there's one line that stood out in this. He said, I use money to wipe the tears away. I grieve different. So basically, he's saying, like, I'm rich, but I'm not perfect. I'm rich, but I still have a lot going on in my life. You know, there's still some things that are, I would consider, not perfect. And I think that to me is what set Kendrick Lamar apart from everybody, if you ask me. So then we go into the next song, N95. And a lot of people are not going to get this song right away. They're just going to basically listen to it, and because the flow. And let's not forget that he actually did 5 or 6 different flows on this one song. This is how good Kendrick Lamar is, man. This is how good he is. This guy can do 5 or 6 different flows on a track, which is amazing to me. Like, Some people can't even keep up with one. This guy does 5 or 6. And this song, he calls out the hypocrisy in everybody. He actually calls out everybody in this song. And he basically says, like, take off all this. Now, it's a play on words with N95 because everybody's wearing the N95 mask. So he's basically saying, take all that bullshit off, and what do you have? You ugly as shit. You out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, saying, like, everybody needs all this bullshit to make themselves look like something that they're not. And for me, just the messaging in that song. See, what Kendrick is really good at is he's really good at doing songs and actually making you like the song and not knowing that he's probably dissing you in the process, or not knowing that this song is basically about something of substance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just something that I think, it's something that I think is gonna stick with people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, trying something different. Something I think is gonna stick with people. So let's give them a round of applause. So then we go into worldwide steppers. Now, the whole theme of this album is actually steppers, and a lot of people didn't get that either. That, you know, I don't know if you know anything about steppers, black fraternity clubs. They do steps, you know what I mean? And I think that the way he did it, he made you feel like the steppers was doing something. Then they spoke. Then they did a step. Then they spoke. It's kind of like spoken word with stepping. That's exactly what it is. So with Worldwide Steppers, Kodak Black comes on and says a couple of things, and then they go into the Worldwide Steppers. And I think that people were shocked that he had Kodak Black on this album. And for me, I think that putting Kodak Black on this album was actually pretty good, because you have two different type of young black men on this album, from Baby Keem to Kodak Black. They're two different type of black men. And I think that I'm not going to say that Kendrick purposely did that, but I think that with him and in them two, 3 different type of black men. And to be honest with you, Kendrick talked about black men on this whole album. You know, daddy issues and all that stuff, but we'll get to that. But Worldwide Steppers reminds me of a song off of Good Kid, Mad City. And I like the continuous flow. I like what he was talking about. And he revealed a lot of things about himself in that song. You know, he said, first time I fucked, he said, I didn't know how to feel like the first time I fucked a white bitch. And then he said the first time I fucked a white bitch was at the Palisades. I was 16. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, yeah, like, and I think that, believe it or not, I'll get into my theory of the lust of his lust for women in a second, but I think that he kind of revealed that, and then he said the second time he fucked a white bitch, he was on tour. Now, he was with his girl at the time, and I think that he revealed that to his girl, and she asked him what was wrong, and he said, I think I'm racist. My ancestor, he feels like his ancestors watching him fuck was like retaliation. That alone, to me, made this song phenomenal, because he basically was just putting it out there that he has a sex addiction. And on top of that, everything else that he said, you know. So getting into Die Hard. Die Hard is a song that I think is radio friendly. And I hate, I'm not going to sit here and tell you or say, oh, Die Hard is for the radio, because the radio is dead. Let's just be clear about this. Radio is dead. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that. Nobody listens to the radio anymore. It's the internet. Whatever you hear on these albums, you hear on these albums, and not because they made it radio friendly. Because I don't think that nobody's listening to the radio anymore like that. I think most people streaming music, and it's just, when they say radio friendly now, it's basically saying that this song is catchy and it's going to be on repeat and most people are going to like it. So getting into that song, couple of features on there. I like the instrumental. I actually love the instrumental, and I like how he rapped to the beat. And I also like what he was talking about in this song too. If I had to rate this song, I would probably give it an 8, a strong 8. At first I was on the fence about it, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. And I think that it's going to grow on me. It's one of those songs that grows on you anyway. So that song, Die Hard, is pretty good. Then we get into Father Time. One of the highlights of this album, hands down, a 10. So we got United in Grief and N95 are 10s. And then you got Worldwide Steppers is a 10. So that's 3 10s in a row for me, And then you got Father Time. Now, this song is going to touch a lot of young black men, and a lot of young black men who are in a position where they feel like they have daddy issues. And it's so weird that how he placed this, because he said he had daddy issues. And let's just be clear. In the beginning, his girlfriend said, you really need some therapy. And he's like, real nigga don't need no therapy. You really need some therapy. And I think that is, in the black community, I think that therapy is looked down upon. And I think that we definitely need to start looking into getting therapy for these young black men. And I think a lot of these young black men, they're just angry for no reason. Or they have this bottled up energy because they don't know where it's coming from or where they're going with it. They just want to take it out on somebody. Or they think that's how they supposed to live. So I think that him putting that song out was actually a genius move. And he broke down him having daddy issues. And it's the reason why he is the way he is. He's a grown man with daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Tough love. The hook went right with the song. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that he displayed something that most rappers won't ever do, is put themselves out there and basically say, hey, listen, this is me. This is my issues. This is what happened with me. Highlight of one of the songs on the album. That song is a straight 10. I think that song is probably to me, it's definitely in the top 20 hip hop songs of all time. Then we get into the Rich interlude. Kodak Black again. Remarkable. That's all I'm gonna say. I like his messaging. I like that. See, the unique thing about Kodak Black to me is he just sounds different. The way he talk is just different. How he talks. And I'm sure that there's other people who maybe talk similar to him. But he just talks different. And I think that to me is a, it's a big thing. So yeah. Kodak Black. So, Then we getting into Rich Spirit, man, another 10. Oh my God, I gotta give it a round of applause. Round of applause. Round of a fucking applause. So, another song that I think Kendrick is talking about, you know, he's a rich motherfucker, but he's walking around with a broken phone because he's trying to find some balance and stay strong. Like, he don't want his success and his fame to swallow him into something where he feels like he's not human anymore. And this song is just the vibe of this song. The way the flow, and he did 3 flows on this. Just the way the flow is on this song. And it goes right with the instrumental. This is an excellent song. Excellent song. Excellent. You know what I'm saying? I find myself listening to this song a lot. That's another 10. Oh. Then we get into probably the song of the year. Probably the song of one of the songs of in the last 20 years, probably. Or the next 10 years, I would say. And this song gets compared to Eminem's Kim. I can understand why people would compare it, but towards the end of this song or towards the middle of this song, Kim goes in a totally different direction in this song. The sentiment of this song and Kim is not the same. I think that if you're talking about toxic love, yes, but ultimately Kim dies in the song Kim. You know what I'm saying? And Eminem did both. That's what makes Eminem such a genius too. He did both voices. Like, you know, he did it. And the song was kind of like, it's not like he was, you know, teetering on trying to get back with her. He was driving her somewhere to kill her. That's basically what it was. That song would give people nightmares. Excellent song. But this song here, We Cry Together, it's about toxic love in the black community. And I would say basically, you know, in people who are in toxic situations. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the black community, but people who are in toxic situations. And I find that this song, every time I listen to it, it gives me the chills because I went through something like this, and I'm sure a lot of people have went through something like this, where they're basically talking, you know, talking to each other like it's normal, and then at the end of the song they make up and fuck, because that is what we do. That's the best part of it. We make up. It's makeup sex. And you know, everybody always say makeup sex is the best sex. So it's like, this is why this song is so great. Because the way they put it in such a way that you really felt, you know what I mean, what they were saying. Really felt what they were saying. Applause to them. You know what that is. You know. So then we have Purple Hearts. Now, great song. I'll be honest, I don't think that Summer Walker was needed for this song. I think that it could have just been Ghostface. But Kendrick Lamar is talking about women. And he's saying in this song, like, they're basically in the lead, in, you know, they deserve a Purple Heart because they go through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think that what he put out there on this song, basically saying, like, you know, I know that I know we going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you already know I love you. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what this was. Now, the highlight of this song was Ghostface Killer. I think his verse was pretty good, and I think he killed it. I think that Ghostface definitely, that was a good look for Ghost. Excuse me. That was a good look for Ghost. I think that Ghost, he deserved that look. Then we get into this too. Now, this too, we don't know if the Big Steppers was this one, because Kendrick likes to play games in a good way, I guess. So we get into this too. Count Me Out. Love this song. Absolutely love this song. With the choir, it reminds me of Kanye, a Kanye song, something that Kanye would do. But I think Kendrick, of course, is Kendrick, and he does his thing. So one thing I would say about Kendrick Lamar is every rapper ever. He's every rapper. He's the cheat code in the video game. He's the guy who you pull out this guy and you're beating all the bosses. He's on level 10 on everything. And I think that, him releasing these songs, to me, puts him over the top. But Count Me Out, I think a lot of people are saying they don't like the album, and this song is dedicated to you. For everybody that's nitpicking or saying they don't like, they say, concept-wise, it's good. Concept-wise. And it's disgusting that everybody think that they're A&R now. Everybody think that they're these people who review music religiously. It's like, listen, you're looking for bangers. That's what you're looking for. Just say that. Ain't no bangers on here because it's not a banger album. This is an album. That's the thing. A lot of people looking at it like, I need to hear some bangers. Well, you probably won't hear no bangers because there's a message that he's conveying to you. That's the banger. That's what he's trying to do. He's not trying to put out music like everybody else. I think that's what people getting it fucked up. They thinking like, he is to put this out. And they said, if ain't no bangers on there, it's corny. But bangers don't actually always make an album great. There's a lot of albums that have bangers on there, but they're not good albums. They're just songs that you like. I don't want to say no names, but we know it. We know what time it is. So Count Me Out, basically saying he loves when you count him out, and he's gonna still do what he believes is best, no matter what. You know what I mean? He's gonna do what he think is best. He's gonna keep fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? So Count Me Out I love that song, especially the first half of it. Crown, I think he should have left Crown off this album. Now, I think Crown is actually a good song though, but I think it kind of slowed the pace down of it. But the messaging in this song is the reason why I think it should have stayed, why I think he put it on the album. He's basically saying, I can't please everybody. He's saying, he goes from, I love when you count me out, and just understand I can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to have a crown on my head because I am the king. You know what I'm saying? So Crown definitely is one of those songs that is an acquired taste for right now, I would say. But I believe that once people get into it, they listen to it, or just laying around the house or cleaning or whatever, it's going to come on and people are going to find themselves singing the song. Silent Hill, excellent song. I think that this is a song that everybody loves this song. And I think the reason why is because of Kodak Black. I think of course Kendrick is Kendrick, but I think that they like it. They like the fact that Kendrick had put Kodak Black all over this album. And I think that all the young people, they like, damn, that's crazy. So this song is a great song. It's a great song. Push these niggas on me like, push these. I love that. I love that. I think that that's just so different. Like, yes, you could count on Kendrick for always coming with something different. Round of applause for that man. Round of applause for him. You know what time it is. So, then we have the Savior interlude with Baby Keem. Now, phenomenal. I think that Baby Keem and Kodak Black was a perfect pick for this album. Perfect pick. I'm surprised they wasn't on the song together, but I think he purposely did that because he wanted to separate the two. There's two different type of young rappers. You know what I'm saying? You have the Kodaks. And I think that Kodak was a running joke for a long time when people were saying, oh, well, even I said it. Everybody said it. Oh, he ain't Kodak Black, but or he ain't little Uzi, or he ain't little Yachty. You know what I'm saying? I think that him putting Baby Keem, which is obviously he's a superior lyricist, but they rap totally different from each other. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to them, the way they rap different. And I think that him doing that for Kodak and him doing that for Baby Keem is I think that was wonderful. Then we get into Savior. Another 10, hands down. And at this point of the album, it takes off to the point where I think he just leaves Earth. He just leaves Earth. And Savior is one of those songs where he's really talking. Like, he doubles down on it. Like, listen, I'm my family's savior, but I'm not your savior. J. Cole is not your savior. Future is not your savior. Drake is not your savior. LeBron is not your savior. Kanye is not your savior. None of these people are your saviors. And he did mention Kanye and he did mention Drake in Father Time. And in that song, he said, when Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. I guess I got some more growing to do. Like, some more growing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, I just had to throw that in there because I forgot about that part. But anyway, with Savior, he's basically saying, like, I am not your savior. Like, don't look for me to be out here doing something for you. You got to do it yourself. And no rappers ever put that out there like that. That's just perfectly said. Like, I'm not your savior. Why are you trying to make me out to be this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Just understand, you are your own savior, not me. Or whoever you pray to. Then we get into Auntie Diaries. Oh my God. So we go from 10 to another 10. Listen. For everybody out there who was growing up and they had an auntie who was gay and who acted like a man, who wanted to be a man, who just moved around like, just at the time they didn't call them trans people. They called them dykes and they called them butches and they called them other names. You know, if you had an auntie like that, and I'm sure everybody has, I know a couple of my cousins' moms were like that. You would understand exactly what he's talking about in this song. And he breaks it down so well. And even at the end of the song, where he calls the preacher out for saying, hey, you know, shouldn't you love thy neighbor? Like, how are you over here criticizing my cousin when you supposed to be, you know, helping him? You know, but his other cousin, whose name was Demetrius, he followed in the footsteps of his auntie, and everybody was mad at him. But Kendrick understood because he hung with his auntie and he seen it in him. He said, "Hey, I know he's gonna," but he even took it a step further, and he went and got a sex change. And I think that him putting that on display like that, that's one of the greatest songs ever made. I'm sorry. This is one of the greatest songs ever made. hands down, one of the greatest songs ever made. Like you just gotta understand the just how you put it, and then just to put the cherry on top when he comes out and he says, you know, basically words are just words. We're the ones that put meaning behind them. So when he was going around saying faggot, 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 he didn't understand that was actually offensive at the time. And then somebody said, well, you a hypocrite, because if you could run around and say all this, but you can't let a white girl say nigga. And that right there sealed the deal for me. Oh man. Yes. Song is crazy. Then we get to my favorite song on the album, actually. Straight 10. Mr. Moral. Comes on with this beat. It sounds like something out of a African jungle horror movie. It just comes on. Then you got some guy talking in the background. Then it comes on, and he comes in with the kind of like African chant, like, you know what I'm saying, like, just, oh my God, the way he flows to this beat, man, I tell you, man, song is great. You know what I'm saying? Basically talking about how he's Mr. Moral, but you got to understand, in the hood, it's really nobody that's moral like that. It said, SSI bury family members. At the repast, we serving Popeye's chicken. You know, and then he goes into, he basically says, what's going to kill people is not the red flags, is actually the high blood pressure that they put in the food, which is fucking classic. One of my favorite songs on the album. That's probably one of my favorite songs that he ever did, actually, too. Then we get into the Mother I Sober. Top 10 greatest songs of all time. I think that this song is probably the best emo record I ever heard. Ever. I don't think nothing is better than this. I think this song, it's so much to unpack in this song. This song is so relatable in so many ways. Even if you never even been in a situation like this, you can listen to this and feel his pain. Great song. Unreal. I seen people crying. I seen people actually crying because of this song. And I think that to me, that's when you know you touch people. That's when you know. Then we get into Mirrors, last song on the second album, second CD. This song is basically another 10 for me, because he's basically pointing in the mirror and saying, I choose me, I'm sorry. Looking in the mirror saying, I choose me. But he also is letting y'all know to look at yourselves. You know what I'm saying? And stop asking him to be the savior. You know, I think that with this song, it's a reflection of what he sees in other people. And also he want people to see the reflection in themselves. So great song. Overall, I give this album a strong 9, pushing up to a 10. I think that this album will go down as a classic. You know, I think that only maybe let's see, maybe 1 or 2 songs on this album, I think a lot of people would say they don't like, you know, but the messaging in every one of these songs is what, to me, is why this album is a hands down 9 pushing up to a 10. And I will say, maybe in an hour from now or 2 hours from now, it's probably going to be a straight 10 for me, because I've been listening to this album constantly, you know, and Even the songs that I think that should have been left off the album, or maybe they should have been left off, I would say only two. That doesn't take away from the album. Even with those songs, to me, it doesn't take away. Now, I want to talk about, before I end this, I want to talk about the whole theory of the album has to be bangers or whatever you want to call it, right? See, when you put out a body of work like Kendrick Lamar, you're not really understanding his work. Because if you listen to all his work, I think from Good Kid, Mad City, for people it was bangers on there, honestly, because he had a lot of artists on there that y'all probably like. And some of those songs were still conscious songs. I think that it was a little more streetish. Then you go into To Pimp a Butterfly. That was more musical instrumentation album. Then you go into Damn. Now, Damn, I would say, okay, you want to say bangers? Damn had a couple of bangers on there. But overall, the messaging in all of his albums, he has a point to what he's saying. And I think this album here, he tried to center it around black men, especially black men. Black folks, but with black men in the center of it. He talked about R. Kelly a lot. He had Kodak Black on there. He had himself. He had, what's the name? He talked about cancel culture. He talked about, when he talked to the girl, like, oh, you always kicking the man when he down. He had daddy issues. You need some therapy. He talked about his struggle with sex addiction. And he said he don't do drugs. But his wife, his girlfriend or his wife, his baby mom, she helped him get out of his addiction. And to me, that's a good woman. If she helped you get out of your addiction. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. You know what it is. Kendrick Lamar. Go Kendrick.